Okay, the microphone is now working. I do not know why Streamlabs decided to turn it off, but the microphone is working and we are finally back. So, welcome to race 34 out of 36 of the CGB Cubecar League. And we're finally back after about a month's absence. Sorry about that, just didn't have the motivation to run it around that time. But we're back here at Indianapolis Raceway Park for this race, the second race in the round of 8. 2 races left in this round and three more
to your cars.
until the final race of the season in Miami, which will be this coming up Sunday. Tomorrow's race will be at Memphis. And while we're at it here, we can look at our starting lineup for today's race. Starting out front for third time this season, is the 95 of McQueen, and starting beside him is the 92 of Melee Fox. Row 2, Miku and Squid Games. Row 3, I'm getting myself confused. Dumbcat Meloetta. Row 4 is Hee Hee Ha and No Maidens. Row 5 is Retro and Dragalia Lost. Row 6, Squidward and Chow. Row 7, Figure No Mori Cube. Row 8, Jinx and Imposter. Row 9, Nicole and Hubris. Row 10, Cubendorf and Shadow. Row 11, BV and the Racer. Row 12, Among Us and Pecorine. Row 13, Donkey Kong and Pac-Mobile. And I don't really feel like doing the rest because I am very tired today, so I'm just going to go ahead, let you guys look at that. There you go. You've seen it. You've done it. Let's just get this race over with because I am pretty tired today, so I'd like to get this done.
Start your engines!
I still have not updated the banners for those who have been eliminated. I believe I'll go take a look at that in a second and make sure that all of that is correct. We've got 200 laps here at IRP to decide another race and another winner. And if we have another playoff driver who is still in the playoffs win this race, then they will get to race in Miami for a championship, which will be very nice. Basically a free ticket to be a champion. But this will be a fun one for sure, as you've got 2 short track aces within the top 4 that have come close to winning or have won at short tracks before. But the green flag is out and we are racing at IRP. And Melee Fox already gets an amazing run from the outside lane. He's going to get to an early lead. With McQueen falling back behind in second. And he's going to lead the first lap and get 5 bonus points, which is not really useful to him since he is not in contention for a championship at this point. But still good for him as he has not led many points since his very dominating performance way back at Richmond, so that'll be interesting. Oh, caution's out already. Someone must have spun. I believe it might have been... Oh, Chow is blowing up. That must be damage because there's no alert on the system. The caution is out already here at IRP. Someone must have wrecked in turn 2. I didn't even hear any crash sounds at all, so it must have been a very quick crash. But it looks like Chow's already going to be done for the day. Let's see what happened to him on lap 2. Oh, Meloetta slid up in front of the field, got into Chow. Let's see what happened to the 7, actually, because the 7 probably got the worst of that. Oh, the 19 barely got away from that one. No, that's 770 is what I mean. Gotta work on renumbering that after the season is done. But she get dumped by the 31. Yes, she did. Ooh, and some contact with the 96, and a little bit with Raccoon, who is not in contention in the playoffs anymore. He should have a red banner, but I did not fix that. But after 3 laps, we've already had our last place finisher, and that is the 96 of Chow. So he is done for the day, and looks like a few others will be having some damage as well, so... We're just 4 laps into this 200 lap race, so knowing that it's already happened, this might be a very long race. Looks like no one's coming to pit road just yet. Which is smart because, well, it's only been 4 laps. Not a lot of tire wear on these tires yet. So far, so good. I guess that's what they say is. And now we've got some... Actually, I forgot how long the cautions last on this track because I've barely ever held events here. Because we're still not ready to go back to green. So these cautions may last a lot longer than I initially anticipated, which is just perfect. But since this track is pretty small, cautions should go by relatively quickly here. But it's too bad for Raccoon and maybe Dogecube as well. And Dogecube may have gotten a little damage in that crash, and he is actually in the championship hunt still. So he's looking for a good race here today, but maybe that won't happen. He'll probably be in a deep bit of trouble after this race, and we will be going back to green next time by because the lights on the lights, I mean, of the pace car are out. We'll go back to racing pretty soon. Which is pretty nice. And we are back to green here at IRP. Now since we're single file, we might not have that much action, but we'll still get a little bit of passing here as the 01 of Squid Game slides up a little bit. Remember that the 01 is technically out of the championship hunt, but our highest placed playoff driver right now that's still in it is, once again, the 5 of Hee Hee Ha, who's probably one of the best right now in terms of looking for a championship, although we are going to an intermediate, which he hasn't been too terribly good at, but who knows? He could be looking pretty good in these next few races. It just depends on how he does and if he avoids the crashes, because those could be a deciding factor in these races for sure. I had to crack my knuckles there for a second because I'm Knuckles the Echidna. Let's see if we can find any other of our playoff drivers. There's Hubris in the 07 having a pretty decent run. Has gained up a couple spots since the start of the race, but is looking to just get as many points as she can to stay above the top 4 of the cutoff line before we get to Miami, or at least get a win here today that she can get to Miami very easily, but she needs to actually get up front to do that. And it looks like she's having a hard time trying to pass people. As for Kiependorf having a decent run for the first time in quite a while, actually. Also, the 33 of Trolling, who I believe is not in the playoffs. Actually, I believe he is. Let me just double check. So yeah, Trolling, Squidward, Eggdog, and Omori Cube are the last, or the bottom 4 below the cutoff line as of right now, or at least at the start of this race. And the top 4 are Hee Hee Ha, Bob the Builder, Hubris, and Doge Cube. Actually, we haven't seen Bob the Builder at all. Where is he? 24th behind the 20. So not running too great. Remember, Omori Cube actually finished last, I believe, at Walt Disney World after having that engine problem. So they've got a lot of ground to make up, and they're currently running 28th. So not much ground has been made, that's to say the least. But already Melee Fox getting up to a pretty decent lead. If there's a track that he can win at, it'd definitely be this one, because he did very well. What the heck is this? Oh, it's a piece of my Lego thing. He did pretty well at Richmond, didn't end up winning the race. That ended up going to the 45 of Raccoon, who is potentially still in contention for the grand prize at the end of the season if Hubris has a bad race. Or bad next couple of races and gets eliminated, but she's only 16 points above the cutoff line, so anything can happen here, and she's not having a great run so far. She's still doing marginally better than some of the other contenders. Think about Squidward, who's not doing too bad for a race outside of a road course, considering he literally swept all 3 of the road course races this season. And I do plan on adding more for next season, and also decreasing the amount of races on the schedule to balance out the amount of tracks that we have, or at least the track configurations. There's a lot of changes I plan to make for next season, but namely, I'm probably going to change the playoffs to be a little bit less gimmicky and be a bit more interesting, like the bracket. Maybe give it like an NCAA bracket system. That'd be neat. That's just a hunch, though. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but still hadn't decided yet if that's the case, but maybe. Looks like the 34 of Imposter has just come down pit road. He's going to be rejoining the track. Hopefully he doesn't cause any issues while he rejoins, but since it's a big old back straightaway, it's a wider back straightaway, he will be able to make it on without much issues. Fastest lap, no surprise, it's the 92. I'm going to switch over to my other tab for a second. There we go. But already out to a 2.3 second lead ahead of the 95. Let's see if the rest of our playoff contenders are. Still alone by himself. Squidward not doing too bad either. You know, one cube that's actually having a pretty decent run is the 08 of So Retro, running 9th right now. Has had a pretty decent run of races recently, but looking for a good note to end this season on after just a very abysmal season overall for a user-submitted cube, which is not really what I expected. There's Cole running 13th right now, having a pretty good run. He's actually just passed the 07 of Hubris, who's also running for a championship. There's Shadow, there's the Racer. BV and Cubadorf running together. BV who won at South Boston. Trolling in the 33, not doing too bad either, although mainly most of the playoff cubes back here are ones that are actually racing for championships still, except for Raccoon. The leaders have managed to drift apart from each other pretty quickly. Not a lot of battles throughout the field though, although we've got one between Trolling and Among Us in the 53. The All-Star race winner hasn't really done much since though, in terms of things that they've done. But the only cube who's been slightly catching up to the 92 is the 95 here of McQueen, but I have absolutely no idea when the pit cycles are, so we'll just have to let it ride out and see when all these tires will start to fade away. But yeah, 10th place right now, who is Dragaya losses 9.7 seconds back behind our leader. So right now, I believe he has led every lap so far in this race, so he is booking it towards a win here today. You can see the 5 now trying to catch up to the 63 of Dumb Cat. Another cube looking for a good end to the season after a pretty rough season overall. Now it's actually gaining a little bit ahead of the 5 here. But now, ooh, what's going on here? The 10 of Squidward has a problem. That's a playoff driver. He's now on pit road, so he's going to lose 1, maybe 2 laps here. Damage 2 on that wheel, so he might be stuck on pit road for a while. But unfortunate break for the 10 of Squidward, who is going to be put in a massive points crater. Oh, he's just like stopping on pit road. He might actually stop on pit road. Is that going to be a caution? Nah, that wouldn't be a yellow. He's not on the track, so it doesn't even count. There he is right there. I want to see if the caution lights come up on these trucks and the pace car if he does stop. So he is stopped now. The lights are still out. And yeah, he just teleported on the pit road, so no caution there for him being stuck on pit road, but obviously he's got to get... Wait a minute. Are the pit signs... Wait, did he even stop in his... Oh, that's the Chow's box right there. I was wondering why the sign behind him was down. And then now his correct sign is going down. I see. So it was just... He was parked in front of Chow's box, and Chow was the one who retired from the crash earlier. That was a weird little visual gag, but oh well. Meanwhile, Hubris has gained up to 13th now, but has lost a spot to the 42 of Jinx. And the 28 of Cole, and the 13 of Fear. Now Fear is the last cube in the top 10, as Scoreboard has fallen out. So... But now that Melee Fox is actually starting to cut through these leaders, that's going to be harder for the rest, not these leaders, lap cars, but the more that he does that, the less chance that the rest of them will be able to catch up. It's good for him. Now that he's trying to get through this traffic, it's allowing the cubes behind him to catch up just a little bit. McQueen gained 4/10 on him that lap, but now he's got to get past a bunch of traffic all running the same line, so it's going to be very difficult for him to get past all of these cubes. But while we're at it, we're in this green flag period. Let's go through the field right now, starting off with McQueen. Actually, no, we've already talked about McQueen. Who have we not talked about yet? We have not talked about you. Actually, you've had a boring season, so we'll not talk about you. Actually, let's just talk about our playoffs contenders. There's Hubris in the 07, long considered to be a favorite for this year. Had a pretty rough stretch during the quote-unquote summer months of this season. But she has definitely rebounded, but the last time she won was back at Dover, and that was when she was one of 2 cubes to have a couple of wins. And after that, she really hasn't replicated that success since. She's had a couple of second place finishes, but has not been able to get up front and lead for as long as she has in the past during the races that she's been in. So she's looking for some success here today to try and get a win and potentially get into the playoffs, but unfortunately not looking like having some speed. Maybe some pit stops will help out later in this race, but since she has just passed the 28 of Cole, she could be able to get back up there and get up front, which would be great for her. Further back, you've got Trolling in the 33, who is the only playoff contender left in the round of anything. Actually, the only one to make it in the whole playoffs, to not have a single win this season. Still going at it strong. Even though he has had the most top 10s of anyone this season, he's currently running 19th now, not having a great day today here at IRP. He's got to wait on some pit stops to actually get a run in that. There's the 20 of Eggdog, who had a pretty okay start to the season, or had a pretty all-right regular season. Ended up winning really early on in Atlanta. Never really came close to winning after that, but after the playoffs started, he just kept getting top 10 after top 10. Kept going and winning. Or not really winning, but getting good finishes, and that's allowing him to get into the round of 8 here, and currently doing a pretty good, decent job so far, but right now running 21st, not doing too hot, especially since he's below the cutoff line right now, so he's going to need a good finish here today. And there's your almost regular season champion, Bob the Builder, who won the last race of the season, but lost the championship by 1 point to the 07 of Hubris, after denying Donkey Kong a chance at a playoff spot and allowing the 33 to get a playoff spot. But right now, he is just trying to cruise along and make sure that he can get to the end here. Hopefully hoping for a good race. If he doesn't have a good race today, hoping for a good race at Memphis tomorrow. There's a Maury Cube in the 2, who has managed to squeak by to a couple of victories this season. One in the playoffs and one outside the playoffs. But he finished, like I said, finished last in the previous race at Walt Disney the last time we streamed. So he's just looking to get into the championship race in Miami. Trying his best here. Then you've got Sanic in the 06. Actually, I believe he's eliminated, so he does not count. Neither does the 45. This Doge Cube once again having a pretty bad day after his crash. And then the 10 of Squidward, who is 4 laps down, back out on track, but still pretty far behind now. Not doing too great. But trying his best to at least attempt to get into the next round, but now that he's fallen back, he was running in the top 10 before his little problem with his tire, so, but he is off sequence now, but that doesn't really matter if you're 4 laps down, so. Let's check on our leaders. Actually, McQueen has actually caught up a decent distance to the 92. He's still got 2 more lap cars to pass, and Squidward is technically faster than him because he's on newer tires. So he might be able to actually hold up the 95 here if McQueen can get around him. Or McQueen has to hold Squidward off for as long as possible to try and actually catch up to our leader right here. Don't know what that noise is. If it even picks up on the mic, it's a strange little noise, but hopefully it'll stop making noise soon. We're still chugging along at lap 60 here at IRP. Just past the 1/4 mark of this race. And you can see Jinx now trying to get past the 13 of Fear, who is, I believe, was eliminated in the round of 12, if I am right. No, he's eliminated in the round of 16 because he still has his red banner, while the other ones do not yet. And I will attempt to fix that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? Right now, just one of the races of all time for sure. But once the schedule shrinks down to 20 races next season, we'll definitely get rid of some of the tracks that have less exciting action. We'll definitely bring on some new ones that are a little better. Let's go back to our leader right now. Still has not passed the 02 of Omori Jr., but now the 01 of Squid Games has passed McQueen for second. Is now trying to go for the lead. Even though he's not in the playoffs anymore, a win here would still be a good way to end the season for them. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly today, if you couldn't tell. These late year allergies are getting to me, I suppose. But now Squid Game's just trying to find a way to get to the end of the race without a hitch. Get into the next round, but I'm not doing too hot. Or what am I saying? He's not in the playoffs. I am. You can tell I'm very tired after having these sniffies. The 92 has finally passed the 02 of Amori Sr. Trying to get his way into past the 7 of Meloetta, who isn't actually doing too bad after being involved in that first little incident. But now that we're around lap 70, we should start seeing, well, the tires aren't falling off that bad yet. I mean, it is a short track, so you wouldn't expect the tires to fall off just yet, but we'll know for sure once we start seeing cubes come down pit road. Yeah, this has definitely been the race. Most of the action now is pretty much dissipated, but once the pit stops start, we should be able to see who has a good pit stop and who doesn't. And really, if any of these guys behind our leaders want to get an advantage, they'll have to short pit before Amelia Fox does, because they'll have better tires once he gets out of his pit. And in all similarities, this is a very similar track to Richmond and how the pit road works out. We'll just have to wait and see how this all works out. Amelia Fox now trying to hold on and do what Sheepmobile did earlier in the season, lead every lap and win the race. Crazy that both of those milestones have happened in the playoffs. I don't know why eBay keeps advertising me a PS2 that I've already dismissed on buying. I don't need one right now. Thank you, eBay. But now Melee Fox is just having a bunch of trouble getting around these lap cubes. I say that as he's now finally making it around the 7 or the 70 of Meloetta, but he's still got a lot more traffic to pass up here. Both the teammates of Raceland and Peccary, and then the 45 of Raccoon. You would expect the 45 to be running pretty well at this track, considering he did win at Richmond, but he's not doing too hot right now. which is a little strange, if I say so myself. We haven't even seen many people come up here yet, so... But we're getting around lap 80 now. The caution happened around lap 4, but most of the field has not pitted since then, and I believe those that did pit on lap 4, even if they didn't pit on this current cycle, they'd have to pit a little while later, so... They wouldn't have to wait too long for any action and tires either. Jeez, what is that noise? It's such a strange noise. I don't know where it's coming from. It's like a droning noise. Probably the helicopters, stuff that fly by sometimes. They do that sometimes. It do be like that. Currently now it's just a matter of time on when they end up coming down pit road. If they actually do pit past lap 1 or around lap 100, then or just before lap 100, then we could potentially set up for a fuel mileage finish if things continue to go green, because they've been pretty clean for most of this race besides that one little incident we had earlier, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but looking like it's going to be a pretty good race so far. Scorpio is actually catching up to Melee Fox now because he's on those fresher tires, but even then, he might actually start slowing down soon too, in general. Right now, he's just trying to see how far you can go on these tires before having to pit. If they, yeah, like I mentioned, even if they do end up pitting around I think lap 90 would be a good threshold to say that this might be a fuel mileage finish if this continues to go green for the rest of the race like it has so far. And if it does, that could be a very interesting situation. Considering the last cube to win off a fuel mileage race was the 5, and the 5 is not very far behind in 5th. He's lost races off of fuel mileage and he's won races off of fuel mileage, so he definitely knows what he's doing. But yeah, now is the time when they realize, maybe I do need to pit. Maybe I do need to wait so I can pit later. That would be an interesting situation. Yeah, there's not really been much going on in this race, which is why I'm not providing that much interesting commentary, because really, here's one battle for position, actually two battles for position right here between Sheepmobile Igus and Daisy and Omori Sr. But our top 10 has not really changed that much. Actually, we could potentially have a four-way battle for the top 10 here, as you've got Jinx, Cole, and Hubris all potentially... Well, actually, these four might need to worry about when they have to pit next. Because right now it's lap 96, and they're looking for a pretty good chance here to try and make it to the end. If they manage to make it past lap 100 on this strategy, then they can probably make it to the end on fuel, unless they pit early at the end for some reason, which doesn't make sense, but it'll work out in the end. So. Where's your leader right now, though? There he is. Now, 4 seconds ahead of the 95. Just having a grand old time back there. Now Melee Fox has passed both of the teammates of Peckreed and Raceland, and now staying ahead of Squidward, as I believe the 10 is now slowing down quite a bit. Our fastest lap is now still Melee Fox. I gotta sneeze. Oh, never mind. Just gonna go ahead and blow my nose real quick. Just do this real quick. And just as I come back, the 07, or the 7 of Goots, has an engine issue. He manages to make it to the apron, but there's only a 0.1 engine failure, so he'll probably be able to make it to pit road without any issues whatsoever, so that's good for him. Had to blow my nose there, had to mute my mic, so Goots is now in, is now getting tires changed, so this must have been a very easy thing to replace. Might have had a spring rubber fell out or something, because he's already off of pit road. Good for him, though. Looks like Melowetta's on pit road now as well for damage repair, which is interesting. I hate when I accidentally open a Google Chrome tab on accident on the mobile app, because sometimes I just tap on the top of the screen and it makes a new tab out of nowhere when I don't really need it, and that's kind of frustrating. But it won't be long until these guys will have to come down pit road. Oh yeah, well, 70 just got off of pit road, so now she's further back than where she was. Now the 19 trying to get past the 97 of Packmobile. We got another alert. It's the 42 Jinx on pit road for damage repair. So he must have did get some damage during that first wreck and had enough to actually repair it on pit road. But he is on pit road early. So I believe now they're in the threshold where they can make it to the end if they end up pitting now. And now Jinx is off of pit road. Yeah, really nothing, no battles going on right now in this pack. Oh, the 07 has a problem! The 07 of Hubris with a coolant leak has to come down pit road, and oh, another playoffs driver with a mechanical problem here today. That's a .4, so she might be okay, but that's going to leave her on pit road for a long time. That is not good for her at all, and that might actually make it possible if she gets eliminated after this round. Then everyone else who gets eliminated from the playoffs still has a chance to win the Steam Grand Prize at the end of the season. And oh yeah, she's got to stay on pit road so that she can actually fix that issue. Let's see, she was at .4 on the tires. So her tire wear was at .4, .4, .48, and .48. And now she just gets off of pit road, so she's not going to be out of the race, but she is indeed going to be multiple laps down once she gets off the track. So tough break for the 07, but that is exactly what those drivers that are eliminated and that do have a chance to win the championship, even if Hubris gets eliminated, that's what they needed. Guys like Jagalia lost, and Fear, or not really Fear, and Sheepmobile and Raccoon, those guys that did make it in and did get eliminated already. If Hubris gets eliminated from the playoffs, then all of them will still be able to fight for that Steam Grand Prize at the end of the season. So that is perfect for them, but not great for everyone else. And now she is going to run in the 37th position, 2 laps down. Actually, you know what's kind of weird? 3 cubes with the number 7 in them. The 07, the 70, and the 7 have all had issues in this race so far. Strange, isn't it? But now she's on fresher tires than everyone else, so she's going to be passing quite a few people here, but it'll be a while until she can get one of her laps back. Oh, is that DK coming on pit road? No, he's not. I thought he was slowing down to do that for a sec, but maybe not. Ooh, more trouble is the 5 Hee Hee Haw on pit road, but he is just pitting normally, so could that start green flag pit stops? Is anyone else going to commit? Oh yeah, more people are committing, so the 5 and the 92, yep, pit road cycles are starting. Both Melee Fox and Hee Hee Haw are the first ones to come down. So is Donkey Kong, so is McQueen. Oh yeah, they're coming down now, for sure. And yep, more people are coming on the pit road. So now that they're pitting at lap 124, they can absolutely make it to the end of the race without having to run out of fuel. So no issues for them there. Even if we have another caution, it'll still be very easy for everyone to get back on the lead lap. If a caution does come out during this cycle, so I can just do that. But now it looks like the 31 has led a lap for the first time this race. Oh, and the caution is out. Ooh, that's going to put a lot of people behind, I believe. Ooh, it looks like it was Donkey Kong and No Maidens that have crashed. Oh, and Hubris looks like made some contact with Melee Fox to try and get out of the way. Let's see what happened to these two. They got some pretty big damage. Looks like they're going to be done for the day. Oh, looks like No Maidens actually got turned by Eggdog. Oh, he was merging into the 20 as he was trying to get onto pit road, and that's bad for the 20. Oh, and a big hit for DK. That's going to take him out of the race for sure. Oh, God, what's going on here? They got a... Oh, God, is this score? Is this what it's like during a score race when they try to figure out where they're supposed to go? Look at that braking by So Retro there. Those rotors have got to be glowing now after that massive mash on the brakes. So he's got the free pass. Huh, interesting. But if there's a bunch of people trapped a lap down after this caution, then I will throw the yellow after the caution comes out, so that those guys can get their laps back. So if that's the case, then I will definitely do that. So now it just comes a matter of how many guys. Oh wow, the 31 retired, and he was leading a lap when he retired. Wow, I didn't even realize that he was leading. That's a sight to see for sure. Leading the race and being out with accident damage. Looks like Donkey Kong is also out, so he is done for the day. But now since so many, well, not actually, not that many people are trapped a lap down now. But the leader, oh yeah, I'm probably still gonna have to throw the yellow so that these guys can actually stay on the lead lap. Where's our leader right now? There's your leader. So Retro is the race leader after that cycle of pit stops, and it looks like he will retain that lead after we throw the yellow again. Let me actually get this into the chat box real quick, so I can get that ready for when we go back to green. But the 53 is in third, then BV, then Igus, then Packmobile. So a bunch of those guys that pitted late into that cycle benefited from that since they pitted late. So it looks like they're lining up now to get back to the green flag. Melee Fox will lead them to the green, but he will be in 12th, and once he crosses the line, I will throw the yellow flag, and that will allow everyone in front of him to cycle around, get behind him. And since the leaders did not cross the finish line yet, they will take the yellow flag and immediately start slowing down, so it'll be a lot easier for those guys in front of them to get back up to them. So let's see how this works out for them. Back to green, and yellow flag once again. Oh, and the 80 has blown up. Right after I threw that yellow, the 80 of Raceland is going to be done for the day with an engine problem. Unfortunate for that team. But now, waiting for everyone else to get around the pace car, which will go all the way up to Retro here. So he did lead. So he did technically lead that lap. So he'll be going back there. But now things are back as they should be here at IRP. So Retro now staying out front ahead of the 4 of Cubendorf, now running second. So the top 10 is radically different than what it was earlier in this race. Now the highest running eligible playoffs cube is the 00 of Doge Cube. Then there's Melee Fox's running 12th. So he could technically get back up to the front, but he's going to have to pass a lot of cubes to do it. And there's Hubris running 32nd right now, so she is definitely not having... But she's back to being 1 lap down, so she could technically still get back on the lead lap. And she has fresher tires too, so if she gets back on the lead lap, she could gain a bunch of spots. So maybe it's not all doom and gloom for that 07 team. And she technically does not have that many cubes to pass, so she could technically get back on the lead lap in less than 60 laps here, as we have crossed the 1 hour mark, or the 1 hour-ish mark here. But how long will it be until we have some chaos? Because usually in races like these, chaos happens later into this. It's only a matter of time. This race has been so clean so far, and could it eventually end up going bad? Who knows? We'll just have to see what happens. Going sour, as they say, but we still have 1 more lap until we go back to green. But now all the cubes that are a lap down are coming to the inside lane. So actually Hubris could have a pretty decent chance here to get back on the lead lap. And actually Bob the Builder's lap down as well, which is something I didn't even notice. How did he get back there? But he's definitely going to be in a big hole in points after this race if he can't get back on the lead lap. But those that are high up in points, like a Maurice Sr. in the playoffs, Eggdog in the playoffs, have fallen back quite a bit. Same with the 33 of Trolling. So this restart could very well determine who ends up winning this race. But So Retro is a user-submitted cube, and we've had a few of those win after the playoffs have started. So if he wins here today, that could be, I believe, the 4th user-submitted cube that is not in the playoffs to win a race there. We are back to green. The 08 gets a great start ahead of the 4 and gets ahead of the lap cubes very quickly as Bob the Builder is slowing down Hubris quite a bit. And a rocket start for that 08 on the outside line. Oh, jeez. Phone almost fell off my table. Now the 4 of Cubendorf trying to get his first win this season. Then the 53 trying to get his first win. Then the 66 as Agus almost gets slammed into the wall by the 07 of Hubris. As Bob the Builder trying to make it 3 wide in turn 2 back here. Barely makes it out of that one. And now Agus, who is on the lead lap, trying to get around the 46, who is not on the lead lap. And this big wad of keeps back here. Look at this. This is a wreck about to happen right here. I can tell you, this is very bad. But they somehow managed to get out of there pretty clean. Here comes Melee Fox trying to get on the... Oh, actually, Melee Fox has fallen back quite a bit since the start of that. It's just the restart. He's now running 15th. He must have a problem of some sort if he's fallen back so far behind after that. Now, So Retro is ahead of the pack. However, there's no way he'll be able to actually lead more laps than Melee Fox has in this race. But Cubendorf is catching up just a little bit. Now Agus is now trying to catch up to Beavy right behind the 53 of Among Us in 3rd. Packmobile 6th. Looks like Hubris, actually no, Blood Clot is 7th. Then Sands Club in 8th. 9th is Doge Cube. 10th is Jinx. So we'll have to see how those guys make a factor into this race later on. But looks like Cubecar. Oh, caution! Trouble. It's Dragalia lost and dumb cat in the wall in turn 3, I believe that is. That's turn 1. So we're under caution again here at IRP. Let's see what happened to these two. Ooh. Squeezed up in the wall. Take a look at what he did. And he turns the 25. Not too much damage for those two, but they're going to have to feel the effects of that one for a while. As the rest of the field now making their way around the track. I don't even know what happened here. I don't know why the 08 is so far ahead of everyone else. Probably because of the pace car. Just as I come back from blowing my nose again, the 63 of Dumb Cat, after being involved in that crash, has had an engine failure. Ooh, he might actually stop on track. Actually, no, he's going to make his pit road, but bad luck for the 63. Just had a terrible day. Pretty much a terrible season so far. I'm going to sneeze again. Don't know why my allergies are suddenly getting to me again, out of nowhere. Oh, I forgot to mute my mic there, but I guess you just heard me blow my nose, which is not too much of a bad thing, I suppose. Right now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 cubes this season who have not won a race in this top 10. Some of them separated by lap cars, as you could tell, but those guys will get to the inside lane pretty quickly, but at least when we get back to green. Looks like Dumbcat is going to get back on track, but he will be back further back. He'll be maybe a lap down, I'm not entirely sure. But tough luck for both the 25 and the 63. But now it's a matter of what's going to happen next with these guys. So he'll be going back to green next time by. All the lap cars trying to get back to the inside line so that they can restart here. Let me just grab something real quick. The tissue box has been ported to the desk. The mic just shocked me. That was weird. But now we're going back to green again. So Retro will lead them back to green as he gets another rocket start ahead of the inside line. And he will get ahead of them now, and now Kubendorf in second still has the fight with the 46, who is on the preferred line, but Kubendorf is a little bit better now than the 46. But Sir Retro will get away once again, and I must go ahead and state that we've had 5 different leaders in this race, which have been Sir Retro, Kubendorf, Lightning McQueen, Melee Fox, and No Maidens, who led 3 laps previously. Now Igus in the 19, trying to get past the 66 of BB for position. Can't really get to the back bumper there. Pac-Mobile and Sir Retro potentially going at it here. As Amori Jr. and Doge Cube. Actually, Amori Jr.'s lap down, so he doesn't even count. With less than 50 laps to go now in this race, won't be long until we get some action here on the track. We're getting close to the end of this race. As we get closer and closer to the end of this race, maybe we'll see some more action, maybe we won't. But now So Retro is getting more of a lead now ahead of the 4 than he has before. So Retro and the 4 of Kubendorf have broken off from the lead pack. Then Bob the Builder, who's still holding up his, even though he's a lap down, he's still holding position ahead, the 53, the 66, and the 19. Not far behind, you've got a little bit of a battle for position between these 4. Sands Club actually gained a position here. Interesting to note. Now So Retro trying to get away with his first win of the season. Like I mentioned, has had a pretty rough season overall. Hasn't really shown that much of speed, except for maybe at the super speedways, but then usually he'd be caught up in an incident there. But today is his best chance yet to get into victory lane. And Kubendorf as well has also been pretty sluggish this season. One of the worst cubes this season. Could potentially get a win here if he can actually catch up to our leader, but he is, well, much slower. Oh, wow. Did he just get the fastest lap of the race? Oh, never mind. Fastest lap of the race. Is it? Yes, it is. It is the 19 of August who has the fastest lap of the race so far. Has now moved to 4th right behind the 53 of Among Us. Could she potentially make a run for the lead if she gets past these 2? But Kubendorf is running way slower than all of them right now. And Bob the Builder's slowing up the rest of our leaders, so it's looking pretty bad right now for everyone behind So Retro and Kubendorf. if they can't get around him. But now, Kubendorf trying to get as close as he can. Still running much slower laps than our leader. Everyone else actually running much slower laps than our leader, as So Retro running some blisteringly fast laps compared to the rest of the grid. And that is race winner material right here. If he can just get to the end without any cautions, without a hitch or anything like that. As now the 53 trying to get around the 46, force him to the top lane, and he will. And that might allow the 19 to get to the bottom as well and pass him. Now Among Us gets by and is free in the clean air to do whatever he wants to get up front. Now Kubendorf didn't run that much slower of a lap compared to the leader, but he's still 2.6 seconds back. I don't think any of these guys behind him will have a chance to get up front anymore, at least. Yeah, Kubendorf has fallen back quite a bit since he got around, but actually Among Us is he faster? He was a little faster that lap than our leader, but I don't think he'll have enough time to actually get to the front. I guess now trying to get around Bob the Builder as well, and I don't think she'll be able to make up any room as well. Maybe the 53? He actually did gain that lap a little bit. No, maybe not. These guys are having a rough time to try and get around the 46. Ooh, now the 808 is caught up in lap traffic. How will this affect his chances to win? How can he get around some of those cubes that have been involved in incidents so far in this race? Now tries the outside lane to get around Dumb Cat in the 63. Ooh, it's going to slow him up a little bit because he's not in the preferred line, but he may actually get it here. And he does. He gets around the 63, but that's going to allow Kubendorf to catch up just a little bit. Same with the 53, as these two still having trouble getting around the 46. Now gets around the 44 of Daisy as well in 29th. And now Kubendorf has actually closed the gap to the 80 to 08. Is now trying to get to the lead, but can he do it in these closing laps and walk away with a very upset win? Actually, these two winning in general would just be an upset win. Even though both of them had pretty good qualifying spots, you'd never really expect these two to be up front considering how their seasons have been so far. But here he comes. He's to pass one more and he is there. And I guess in BB now just trying to battle each other as Bob the Builder trying to hold on to his 31st place spot. But here comes Kubendorf on the inside of Daisy, trying to go for the win here late at IRP. Can he do it though? He goes to the inside. He's not going to be clear. But So Retro is having a hard time passing the 25 of Jagalia Lawson. Looks like he will get past her now. But now Daisy dives to the inside and so does the 4. Ooh, but So Retro gets a great run out of the outside lane. He's going to get past the 25, maybe even get past both the 30 and the 2 here. And now Kubendorf is just left behind as the gap widens once again between those two. But now the 4 is trying to get past Daisy. Can he do it here to get to second? Or actually, he's going to stay in second. But here comes the 53 trying to take second away. He does get past Daisy. Now he has to get past the 25 of Jagalia lost. But now So Retro trying to pass even more lap traffic. That outside line really working wonders, especially in turn 2 for that 08. As it gets past 2 more. And now the 4 of Kubendorf is just 4 cubes back. And all this action is allowing Bob the Builder to catch up as well and with those 2 other leaders in tow. It's looking more and more likely for the 08 to take the win away here today. Got an alert on the message boards, the 46. Bob the Builder with an engine problem. Another playoff contender with an engine failure or some kind of sort, and that looks to be terminal. And he, once again, just like Hubris and some of the others, he's going to be in a huge hole after the end of this race in points. And he is done for the day. So a tough break for the 46, who is in the playoffs looking to try to get to the win. But he could not do it today. And he is done for sure. Ooh, Goots gets forced down to the lower lane there. And the 53 of Among Us has moved to second, now trying to go for the lead, take the win away from the 08 here. Can So Retro pull off the win here today at IRP? Trying to get around the 30 of Sheepmobile as Kubendorf continues to fall back a little bit. Now BV and Igus battling each other in this. Hubris in 31st, trying to hang on to her spot. Just 13 laps to go here. Can So Retro pull off the win? Very much an upset win. Actually, if any of the top 3 went on to win this race, that would be considered an upset win, as both the 19 and the 66 have already won races this season. Actually, BV has just passed the 19 here. But a new winner is a welcome treat here in this series, even if no matter how good or bad they're doing in the season. Still can't get around the 30 here, but with 10 laps to go, all he needs is no cautions. Except for like late in the race, because if a caution comes out with like 3 or 4 to go, probably end under yellow anyway, so. Fastest lap of the race is still the 19 of August with a 111.658 miles per hour lap, 22.113. Among Us is not really closing the gap that much on our leader, as Sir Richard tries to get away with a win here today, which would be great for that team. Yeah, Among Us is trying. Oh, he might actually have a run on the 2 here to try and get to the front. Oh, but he lost a bunch of momentum there. Now Cubecar all alone by himself, looking to finish off this race in 3rd. But the real battle right here is between these two who have been battling for 4th place for practically the last 30 laps. Still going at it between each other. Then 6th is Sands Club. 7th is Doge Cube. 8th and 9th is between Packmobile and Blood Clot. Then Trolling rounds out the top 10, looking to get another top 10 in today's race. He actually could be above the cut line after this race, because considering Hubris and Bob the Builder both had problems. He slides up the track a little bit, trying to take the outside lane to get around the 30. Looks like it's going to work, because, ooh, almost hits the wall. But Among Us is catching with 2 laps to go. Can the 53 close the gap in that amount of time? I don't think he will, because he's got 2 lap cars to pass in that time, and that 08 has been crazy fast on these straights, or on the outside lane and on the straights. White flag this time by. 1 lap left for So Retro. It's going to need one more clean one here to get the victory here at IRP. Race would probably be a little bit shorter, probably about 20 minutes shorter if we didn't have those cautions, but one of them was forced, to be fair. And now coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the first time, another user-submitted cube is going to win the playoffs. It's going to be So Retro that finally gets a win here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Among Us gets 2nd, Cubendorf gets 3rd, BV 4th, I gets 5th, Sands Club 6th, Doge Cube 7th, Trolling 8th, Packmobile 9th, Blood Clot 10th, and that is your top 10 for this race, and those of the playoff drivers that had issues, including Bob the Builder, Squidward, and Hubris. What their playoff picture will look like after this race, I'm not exactly sure, but safe to say that it will not be pretty. Also, Sheepmobile just retired after pulling on the pit road. What a Chad. He's like, I'm done. Well, that's all that. A good debut win here today at IRP. Tomorrow night, we will be going live from Memphis Motorsports Park another track very similar to this, although it'll probably be much shorter, as you can tell by the length and by the laps. But thank you all for tuning in today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Memphis, and I'll see you around, and good night.